Coming topic with Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. Okay, so there was a letter that was sent to, along with Congressman Ronnie Jackson, the former White House physician, to President Biden on Thursday that called on him to prove his mental fitness with a cognitive test. The letter was also sent to Dr. Anthony Fauci. What do you make of this? Is this a real thing?
Liz, thanks for having me on. You know, it's not just an isolated incident with Joe Biden. This is a repeated pattern of behavior. He's making major gaffes on the world stage. Now, he is the oldest president we've ever had in 222 years of having presidents. He's 78, but that's not the reason why we wrote the letter. With the genesis of the letter was these gaffes. I mean, confusing Syria and Libya 3 different times, prompting the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Boris Johnson, to introduce the South African president when he had just done that, and which resulted in snickers and laughs in the room. This is the most important job in the world, and we need somebody that's at the apex of their mental acuity.
So he's had 2 aneurysms. Vladimir Putin, though, said he remembers and had his grasp of details of what he needed to do at the summit, that he never missed any details. Vladimir Putin thinks he was on his game. What do you say to that?
Liz, I had a hard time hearing you, but I think you said that Putin thought that Biden was on his game. Was that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Well, you know, Putin, he's shifty and he's cunning, and everything he does has a purpose. So he might be just trying to work around and maybe manipulating Biden into thinking that he's his friend and helping him out politically. But the fact of the matter is that all of us heard some of the things that he was saying during those summits, the G7 summit, and then meeting with Putin. And I heard some of it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was unintelligible gibberish. It wasn't even English. It was mush. So you can only hide this so long. And all we're asking for is to take a test. And if you pass it, then we'll move on. I didn't agree with Barack Obama. I didn't agree with Bill Clinton, but I never questioned their mental ability.
Trump took a cognitive test in 2018. The White House is saying they're going to release medical checkup results for the president at the end of the year. They are reluctant to talk about the president's mental acuity. Let's listen to Congressman Ronnie Jackson on this topic. Let's take a listen to this.
After this most recent embarrassing performance overseas, I thought it was time to come out. We can't sit on this any longer. I've been saying this for a year and a half, Sean. I took care of 3 presidents over 15 years in the White House, including being the physician to the president for both Barack Obama and Donald J. Trump. And, you know, I know what the rigors of this job are, both physically and cognitively. It's demanding. And after this performance, I mean, we've been seeing this for a year and a half now. I've been saying that Joe Biden is not, he's not physically or cognitively fit to be our president right now. And I just think that he's not inspiring confidence in the American people.
Now we've got the media going after Ronnie Jackson for his prior problems and scandals. What do you say to that? Shoot the messenger, looks like.
Well, Liz, Ronnie Jackson is not only an admiral, but he's a medical doctor, and he was the physician to 3 United States presidents. He's one of the most talented folks that we have, not only in Congress, but has ever served and worn the uniform. So what Ronnie Jackson is saying is, I'd have to echo right now, because the proof is in the pudding. And all, again, we're asking for is to have Joe Biden take this mental acuity test. I mean, Liz, I represent 765,000 Americans as a United States congressman. Joe Biden represents 330 million Americans, and in an indirect but very real way, an extra 200 or 300 billion people on the planet as the leader of the free world. This is the most important job in the world, and this is something that's too important to just continue to go on with all of these lingering questions.
So to the critics who say this is just a political attack, what is the issue that bothers you the most when it comes to what you think is the problems with the president's cognition and his acuity? What one thing really stands out? What one thing really stands out?
It's the pattern of continual gaffes. And I'll tell you very honestly and very candidly that there's a member of Congress, I haven't asked his permission to use his name though, it's a Republican member of Congress that privately told me he's known Joe Biden for decades and he's not the same person. He had seen him about a month ago and he's known him for over 20 years, and he said, Pat, it's frightening. It's not the same person. So that gave me, room for pause. But then it's the whole world is seeing this. And Joe Biden, just get the test and then we can move on. This won't be an issue. But it's funny how they're reluctant to do it. I think that's very telling.
Interesting. Okay, Congressman Pat Fallon, thanks for joining us. Come back soon.
Thanks, Liz. God bless.